Hey, Mo, let's bring him in from ESPN Radio Cincinnati, our good and longtime friend. Looks like a beautiful day up there in Cincy. Am I right, Mo?
I'm not in Cincinnati. I'm in Maui. We have the Maui Invitational. The University of Cincinnati Bearcats are playing in the Maui Invitational, and so it's 7:36 in the morning here, Rod. I got up
How
early
about
for it.
that?
No wonder it looks beautiful over there. Nice to see. Well, hey, you could have been in Qatar. I wouldn't have been surprised. Our poll question today is, are you into the World Cup? How would you vote for that, Mo?
I'm into the U.S. men's national team. I don't know that I'm going to watch a ton of other matches involving other countries. Now, that would be different if the World Cup was during the summer. There's just so much going on in the U.S. between college and pro football, college basketball, the NBA. And honestly, I'm just into that stuff a little bit more than international soccer. It would be different in 2014, which was the last time the U.S. was in the World Cup. It was obviously staged during the month of June. There's not as much going on. The NBA season ended. I was all in on the World Cup, maybe a little bit less so this go around, but I watched the U.S. match against Wales. I'm going to watch when the U.S. plays. I don't know that I'm going to watch other countries, at least early. When we get closer to the final, I might be a little bit more into it, but there's just so much other stuff going on that a lot of it's going to run concurrent to other sports that I just like.
Yeah, I think everybody's saying they'll follow their own country, but when they're out, they will move elsewhere. So to that,
By the way, how's my glare? Can you even see me? I
can see you, and
now I like. Okay, very good.
More
want me to go back
importantly,
inside my hotel room?
No. More importantly, I can hear you. We're two radio guys sitting here, Mo. We're fine.
Very good,
As you know,
very
all
good.
that matters is the audio. I'd rather have that. So, 6 and 4
looked
Bengals.
Really good 3 minutes ago. Now look at this. This is hilarious. Go ahead. The 6 and 4 Bengals.
You do whatever you want to do. Just keep talking, man, and be great. Be you. Are they going back to the Super Bowl? As we sit here right now, they do hold a playoff spot. What do you think? How are you feeling?
I don't know that they're going back to the Super Bowl because I think without their best cover corner, Chidobe Awuzie, that's going to be really, really hard. I do think they're going to be a playoff team, but look, they're stretched here down the final 7 weeks. They're going to play 5 of the top 6 current seeds right now in the AFC, including the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, a rematch of a game the Bengals played in the playoffs last year. I think that game against Pittsburgh put them on the right trajectory. I don't know if I trust them to go on the road again and win multiple playoff games, which is probably what they're going to have to do. I do think it's going to be interesting to see what happens down the stretch with the Baltimore Ravens, just because, and I think you saw it against Carolina on Sunday, they have a total lack of weapons for Lamar Jackson to throw to. So I don't know if I really believe in the Baltimore Ravens. They have an easier schedule down the stretch than the Bengals do. Cincinnati is a game behind. But you know what? Give me Joe Burrow in the month of January with a chance, and I'll feel pretty comfortable about that if I'm a Bengals fan. And I am.
Well, we're more than, we're well past the halfway point of the NFL season, Mo. So what kind of generalities are we able to make about teams? For instance, Lamar Jackson, people were talking about him as the MVP early on. I'm not sure they are as much now. Who's the MVP of this season to date in your mind individually?
Look at this. You can see me now. I'm back in the hotel room, Rod. Look at this. Look at that. I'm doing multiple things at once. There we go. There we go. What a professional operation I'm operating here.
How about that?
I think Patrick Mahomes. There you go. I think Patrick Mahomes is the league's MVP. I think he should be considered the league's MVP right now. But we still have a huge chunk of the season remaining. I think if Lamar and the Ravens win the AFC North, given the lack of help he has offensively, I think you're going to have a hard time not considering him. But right now, I think Patrick Mahomes, I think Josh Allen, I think those two guys would have to lead the conversation. But there's a lot of regular season games in front of us. And the reality is it's a quarterback's award, right? And so we have this conversation every single year, and it feels like we don't talk about players who play other positions. The NFL MVP award ought to just be renamed, something like Best Quarterback or Quarterback of the Year award, something like that. But if I had a vote right now, it would be Patrick Mahomes.
It's funny with Aaron Rodgers, who's won it the last 2 years, right? Are you stunned? No, you probably aren't, because you're born and raised in this game. How much people are enjoying watching him stumble? Like, I'm not a Rodgers fan, but it bothers me how much glee people take in something like that.
Yeah, I think Aaron brings on some of that himself, quite honestly. But yeah, people have sort of enjoyed, and maybe to a lesser degree, Tom Brady earlier in the season as well. People have seemed to really enjoyed Aaron Rodgers struggling the way he has. I don't want to say I feel sorry for him, but can you just imagine what his career would look like from a team accomplishment standpoint had they built better teams around him and had they given him better guys to throw to? But his personality is odd. At least the forward facing public facing personality that we see is odd, and so I think he brings some of that on himself. The drop off has been stark because he was unbelievable last year. The relationship between him and Green Bay Packers fans has always seemed weird because they seem to revere Brett Favre. Brett's obviously been in the news for non-football reasons. But yeah, it's been striking. It's been one of the storylines this season. How people have come to really enjoy the shortcomings and failures of Aaron Rodgers. By the way, the housekeeper hasn't been in yet, so sorry.
Don't worry about it. As a matter of fact, let's have some fun with comments from our viewers. John Ohm from Winnipeg says Mo Egger's in Winnipeg, whiteout mode. That's where at Winnipeg Jets games they wear all white. It's an historic thing going back like 40 years. So
I was
that's
devastated. My guy Zach Collaros fell short in the Grey Cup. I was so excited he was going to win another one, and obviously that didn't happen.
He was the MVP of the league, however. I was wondering if I should ask you about that, the pride of Steubenville, Ohio. Did you watch the game?
I followed it on my phone. I love Zach. Have had him on my show a whole bunch of times. He's obviously a University of Cincinnati product, a guy who had a stellar career at UC. We've taken a great amount of pride in what he's been able to accomplish in the CFL. He's had a terrific career, multiple most outstanding player. Is that what they call it? Most outstanding player awards.
Mop.
And I didn't get a chance to watch the Grey Cup, but I did follow along, and we were rooting for him. And hopefully we can get Zach back on our show to talk about his season because he's somebody that if you care about the University of Cincinnati, you're awfully proud of what Zach has been able to accomplish.
They were a missed field goal away from winning it, or a blocked field goal away from winning it. And listen, Jeff, the Stampeders fan in Calgary, wants to know if they still do the Thanksgiving turkey drop in Cincinnati. I can't have you on from Cincinnati. Thanksgiving week. How often does the most famed WKRP skit come up in your life?
Well, when you work in radio in Cincinnati and you tell people from other parts of the country or other parts of the world that you work in radio in Cincinnati, invariably you get WKRP references, which I'm always okay with because I love debating Bailey Quarters versus Jennifer Marlowe, right? I'm a Jennifer Marlowe guy, but a lot of people are. I don't think it is, but it's a fun debate to have. And then obviously, once we have that discussion, the conversation at some point is going to turn to turkey drops, and obviously this time of year we get a lot of that. Are you a Jennifer guy or a Bailey guy?
Again, not a debate. I am a Lonnie Anderson guy. Yes, Jennifer Marlowe. There ain't no doubt about that.
Likewise.
I think she was my first crush. Her or Daisy Duke, one of the two.
How about that?
Yes, you get it. Look, real quickly. Well, and Ryan in Toronto watching says, Mo's joining you from heaven. Tell me about the Maui Invitational. Tell me what takes you there to the Big Island. Is that what they call it?
It's not the Big Island. It's the island of Maui. It's fantastic. This is, if you're a college basketball fan, I think this is the premier in-season tournament. There's 5 ranked teams in it. Creighton and Arkansas staged a game last night that was absolutely unbelievable. The University of Cincinnati is not among the ranked teams. The normal voice of the Bearcats is a guy by the name of Dan Horde. Now check this out. He is the voice of the Cincinnati Bengals, the voice of the UC Bearcat football team, and he's the voice of the UC Bearcat basketball team. With all of those duties and then sort of the ancillary responsibilities that are attached to those duties, sometimes he has to miss a basketball game. I've been the fill-in guy for 9 or 10 years. This go around, Dan couldn't get to Maui, so I'm here calling the Bearcats. Unfortunately, they've lost their first 2 games. They play Louisville later on this afternoon, so that's Those are two programs that used to play annually, longstanding regional rivals. Be the first time they've played in almost 9 years. So excited about that. But the event is terrific, and anybody who's familiar with Maui and the islands here, it is heaven. It's absolutely awesome. It's 83 degrees, I think, is the expected high this afternoon. The ocean is beautiful. The sights are fantastic, and the people are lovely. So it's really cool to be here. Even if my planned, sit on my balcony and have you look at the backdrop of this mountain here didn't work out.
It was good for 30 seconds. So we get the intention. Triple header of U.S. Thanksgiving NFL matchups. I just want the winner. Are you a betting guy or no, Mo? Are you a betting guy?
I am, yeah. It's been a big part of what we do, yeah.
Okay, Buffalo at Detroit. Bills favored by 9.5 in the first game. Do the Bills cover? What do you think?
I think the Bills are going to cover. I don't trust that Detroit defense. Buffalo obviously had the big stumble against Minnesota. I for the most part, liked how they bounced back against Cleveland. They've obviously been in Detroit now here for a while, so I like the Bills.
Giants at Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 9.5. Do they cover?
I think that number's a little bit big. I think that number's a little bit hefty. The New York Giants are maybe the team that I think is at the top of the list of squads that even at this stage in the season, I still can't entirely figure out. Think about that. We have two teams that have the same record. The Giants have been terrific on the road this year, and the Cowboys are laying almost 10 points. I think this number is too big.
I'm with you. And New England at Minnesota in the nightcap. The Vikings favored by 2.5 at Bet Regal. The Vikings
going to try to ignore everything I saw from Minnesota on Sunday because I don't think anybody expected them to get housed the way they were by Dallas. I'm still not a believer in the Patriots. And look, I think Bill Belichick is obviously, the greatest coach who's ever lived. They've been good on the road this year. I think they're 3-2 straight up away from Foxborough. They've hung in the postseason race despite the weirdness of their offensive situation. I still don't think they have enough weaponry to go on the road and beat a good Minnesota team that I think has a big bounce back performance. I will go ahead and lay the number with the Vikings.
Thank you for the wonderful insights. And the very last thing I'll ask you is, I understand my gal Jess did get a hold of you in Cincy. Is that a fact?
She did. She reached out. She texted me. We have yet to connect. I have yet to go check out her spot downtown, but I have a lot of off time during the holidays, and so I'm going to go see it, and I'll get back to you with a full report.
All right. Good to hear. I heard from this end that the connection had been made. So, yeah, I know she wants to get your family down there and check that place out. So, Mo, enjoy it all. And as always, thanks for the time, brother. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, you too, Rod. Thanks.
All right. ESPN Cincinnati's Mo Egger joining us from Hawaii. How about that? I did not expect that. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.